Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty, and this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also, it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look into the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. And before we get underway with our latest episode, just a little shout out to these amazing crew at Magic Mind. Magic Mind has been it's a productivity hit in the bottle. I've been using these supplementations now for a number of weeks, and the clarity, the focus, and the performance that I've been getting from these nutrients in a bottle. They've got amazing vitamins, amazing minerals. They've got a bunch of mushrooms in there as well. It's a great productivity hack that I've been using every single day. So if you want to try it out, head on over to www.magicmind.com/James Short, and you'll be able to get amazing discounts when you subscribe and when you try the product. And at the checkout, simply add in James Short 20 to get your discount. So head on over, Magic Mind, productivity in a bottle. Oh, I love it. Now, on with the show. I'm excited. We have someone from a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place of the world, Trent Faunt. Oh, Faunt Property Group was founded in 2023, whilst a brand new, the face behind the brand has plenty of real estate experience, that's for sure. Trent Faunt has operated multiple offices throughout his real estate career, and Faunt Property Group is another milestone and testament that you're in great hands. So, so true. At 22 years of age, Trent Faunt opened his first real estate office in 2016. Within 2 to 3 years, the office purchased two local real estate firms, which led to Trent and his business partner operating one of the largest real estate offices in South Burnett. After the successful settlement of Trent's real estate in South Burnett, Trent and his wife relocated to the beautiful Fraser Coast region and have resided in Hervey Bay for the last few years. In 2024, Trent and his wife Carly has successfully purchased one of the largest real estate offices in the Fraser Coast region and have an amazing team with over 30 years of experience operating in. Go and check out fauntpropertygroup.com, but it's an honor and a privilege to have the man himself, Trent, join us today. Mate, thank you so much for jumping on, and absolute pleasure.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate you reaching out.
Mate, real estate, why did it choose you?
Mate, actually, from an early age, I was always fascinated about properties. Like, I was always wanting to look at open homes. I was always curious about what properties were like inside. Yeah, it's probably a bit of an odd sort of obsession I had from an early age, to be honest. And look, I had opportunities to join real estate and early, I suppose, at an early age. And look, I took the risk. I took an opportunity. I wanted to apply and get my license and just see where it would take me. It was something that I think, you constantly hear people say that something that, you need to follow what you're passionate about. And property was something I was always interested about, even from an early age. Again, playing games like Monopoly and things like that, which is things that I was just always loving. And I love the fact of buying property, selling property, and even the aspect of selling property itself. As an agent for other people, it was something that I was always quite interested in. So I've loved it ever
At,
since.
at the age of 22, mate, that's a huge milestone to go, right, all right, let's rip in and let's buy our own offices. What were you thinking?
Mate, probably a good thing I wasn't thinking. Sometimes you can overthink things and you just never go through with certain things. You can just let those sort of voices in your head take over and say you can't do it. And look, I made a decision. I had a couple of offers to join a couple of local real estate agencies, and I decided that, you know what, I'm going to give it a crack and I'm going to go on my own. It was going to just be a sales boutique office, and that's how it started. And obviously, here we are today, 10 years later. Well, not quite 10 years, but close to 10 years.
Close to 10
Yeah,
years.
it's
So
been an
good.
incredible journey. Incredible journey.
So if you look back on, I guess, those initial days of purchasing the business and going into it, what advice would you give to yourself back then that you know now?
Look, you can't control everything. I try not to let um, worry about things I can't control is one thing I learned
Mm,
now. Whereas before, I was always trying to control everything, and obviously getting very frustrated with circumstances that I couldn't control. So I think the biggest thing I've learned after the last 10 years is just to be calm under the pressure. To think, it allows you to think clearly as well. Um, oh, look, there's so many lessons you could give yourself 10 years ago.
totally.
But I think they're probably the main ones for myself is not to overthink things. So
How do you do that
um,
now? How do you, because of your experience over the last 10 years, is there a strategy that you go to? Is there a process that you go to not overthink things and know that you can't control everything? What do you do? How do you manage it?
I think it's more that comes down to I know who I am as a person as well. And, I think when you deal with people, especially obviously it's very much people industry over the last 10 years, you deal with all kinds of different people. So now you learn to how to react to people that are angry, sad, upset, or happy. Like you sort of can adapt to how they sort of come to you. And I think as you know who you are, like they might say, you're doing a terrible job, or these things like that. I think it's keeping a calmness about it, which then brings you sort of pass on that energy, I think, to other people as well. I find as well, and you can bring them back down to a bit more of a calm level as well, and have a proper conversation and get down to the issue of what is the problem and how we can rectify it. So that's probably the one thing I do pride myself on. If there's a couple of issues that an issue has to arise, I can have a proper conversation with someone, bring them back down to a level that they can actually calmly speak and think, and we can come up with a resolution to how we can rectify that issue.
So that's awesome because what I'm hearing is it's taking it more off yourself and putting it onto the person that you're communicating with and trying to help solve that problem rather than you take on that problem and trying to solve it yourself. Would that be
Yeah,
fair
absolutely.
call?
I think it's communicating with them and saying, well, how can we both work
Mm,
together to get this issue resolved? It's probably the biggest thing I find has been able to allow us to be so successful. But yeah, I think it's just trying to bring the human factor into it. Like we're all humans, we
yep.
all make mistakes. It's just how we communicate and work out what is the best way moving forward. That's going to you know
Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that between with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, and it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show. Now, you've got a cracker awesome team at the moment. How have you what's your biggest, I guess, aha and lessons around team of the over the last 10 years? Because what you guys doing up in the Harvey Bay region is just it's just phenomenal. What do you what how have you developed your team? What's your biggest lesson so far from developing
Yeah,
your
I'm,
team?
I'm honestly really proud of the team that we have. my previous business partner, Janelle, she was phenomenal. That was something that she really thrived in. Sort of yin and yang. Like I had obviously good skill sets with what I was doing, and vice versa with her as well. And she did handle most of that side of aspect of the business when we had those multiple offices. But this is obviously something that my wife and I are doing sort of on our own for the first sort of time. So obviously this is a bit of an experience for us too, but honestly, it has been fantastic. Like, it's actually, how would I put it? It's fulfilling, I think, when you have a team that's, we're all on the same page. Yes, we're all different personalities, but I think we all have a respect and understanding of what we're trying to achieve, and we're all moving forward together to achieve that. So I think it's more trying to work out what their goals are, what they're wanting to achieve in the industry as well, seeing how we can help them achieve that within obviously our agency, because obviously we want to grow together. And obviously, if we can have progression in their career, it's going to be progression in our real estate company or office as well, business.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So true because, you help them achieve. I think it's what you said before. It's like helping people solve the problems together. It's just like helping people achieve goals together. It's still a win-win
It's
scenario.
an absolute win-win situation. So,
So good.
it's obviously taken a big step sort of back with this company, whereas beforehand I was really much so heavily involved in the sales side, and I really didn't have a lot of time to be able to manage. So say an office, but now it's more like I'm taking a step back from the sales side. I'm actually able to manage my team as well, and obviously have constant meetings with them, and just seeing how they're going, what support we can offer them. Because obviously, as I said, it comes back to the more support we can offer them, and obviously help them achieve their goals. It's going to help. It's going to reflect on that business as well.
So true. So true. So if we talk about industry for a moment, what have you noticed some of the biggest shifts and changes and trends within the industry over the last 10, 15 years?
Probably more the creativity, I'd say. I think a lot of agencies or agents, especially when it comes to the videography, social media as well, is trying to capture attention of buyers and obviously sellers as well, because every buyer is going to be a seller. I think it's more trying to the days of just simply taking photos of a property, chucking it online is sort of close to being sort of finished. I think it's people need to be creative. Sometimes people are going a bit overboard with being silly and trying to be remembered, and then you got some really sophisticated and professional sort of videos that people do remember as well. So I'm finding that is the creativity is probably the biggest aspect I can see at the moment in the marketplace.
And do you see that continuing on? Like, where do you see those trends emerging? Is there any other trends that you can see on the horizon?
I think next 5, 10 years, who knows where social media is going to be at. I think that's going to be a big driving factor. Again, the creativity on using those platforms as well is going to be quite important. And I think the people that utilize that the best and invest time and money into that as well are going to see the results for future. Because I think people, the days of say charging 3% or 4% commission now, and not doing anything for it, I think sellers are going to be really selective and choose someone that I think is going to provide as much impressions and exposure to their property. It's going to be a big driving factor, I think, in the next 5, 10 years.
Yeah, love it. And what about shifts and changes and trends within the market where you guys are at? What are you noticing? What's happened over the last couple of years? Where is it where is it now? And where do you see it going over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, I think what I've actually, I don't know if I'm trying to brag about myself here or not. It's beforehand, like there's a guy a young guy that again is just starting out his own business as well. His name's Xavier Morello. He's a young guy, I think, that is very much into that sort of cinematic sort of video trailers. And we wanted to utilize him. We had a sort of very similar vision when it comes to property and how we could sort of take the sort of our marketing to our sort of next level as well. And there wasn't really a big thing around Harvey Bay. A lot of people just simply were taking photos, and yeah, they're professional photos, they look good. But that was basically, I think videography was a big changing point probably in the last sort of 6, 12 months. I think because obviously we've come on the scene in the last sort of 6 or 12 months that we've introduced that as well. And I think a lot of people, a lot of agents and agencies are now seeing the value in that and just seeing
Mhm.
how much it is separating themselves from their competitors. And that has been, I think, a big change and driving factor in the last years. Probably in the next sort of 6 to 12 months, you're going to see probably a lot more of that, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, love it. On the show, we have our 60-second quiz to find out a little bit more about our guests. Are you willing to play?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. What's your favorite movie?
Pursuit of happiness.
Oh, fantastic. Favorite food?
Chicken schnitzel.
Like, what about a palmy? You like a palmy?
Obviously. Wait, on you, mate.
So
Come
good.
on, come on.
So good. What about your favorite holiday destination?
It'd be where I got married in Mullaney. The
Beautiful.
Sunshine Coast hinterland, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What do you have a morning routine?
Have a coffee with my wife, and I think it's more we got a beautiful sort of farm where we are here, and it's a bit of acreage, and we just sit outside and yeah, I think just sort of enjoy each other's time before our crazy day starts.
So good. So good. What about an evening routine? Do you have an evening routine?
It's more just a reflection on what happened today and sort of where we're going the next couple of days as well. And I think again, like we're really trying to put the business aside and make sure we have time for each other as well. And it's not life is just surrounded by our work. Obviously, Carly's very much involved in our business now as well. So it's more trying to keep that separation so we can try to keep a healthy relationship as well.
So important, isn't it? It's separating that the pillow talk between
Yes.
relationship and business,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
If you could choose five inspirational people to have dinner with, they could be dead or alive. Who would they be?
Oh, five inspirational people. Richard Branson, Conor McGregor, UFC fighter. Five people, geez. Trump.
Yep,
Um, oh, got me stumped. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on three.
that's okay. You can have three. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. If you were prime minister for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
I would look into homelessness.
Mm,
I think that would, I don't know whether I could change it in a day. Of course, I don't think that's probably humanly possible. But obviously, being in the industry itself, I think you obviously see a lot more of it and just the daily struggles of people that are struggling to find property to put a roof over their head. So, yeah.
no, nice, fantastic. What's your best piece of advice?
Uh, my philosophy is I fear the opportunities I don't take.
Ooh, I like that. I
I'm a
like
big
that.
person. I like to be moving forward at all times.
Yep.
And I do fear that if I don't take an opportunity where that might put me in
Mm.
life and business. So yeah, I fear the opportunities I don't take.
Yeah, nice, nice. And what's something exciting that's on the horizon for you guys?
Um, Business wise, obviously, it's just trying to I think get better every day. But personally wise, my wife and I are trying to start a family. So we unfortunately we did lose our little bub during pregnancy early this year. So
Oh, sorry to hear.
it's obviously a big driving factor for obviously what I do in life and business as well, and obviously I want to
Mm.
provide for my family. And yeah, that's probably the exciting part. We're trying to build a family.
Beautiful, beautiful. What a beautiful place of the world to do that as well.
Yes.
And how can the audience reach out, follow your journey, get in contact, and
Yeah,
yeah, reach
absolutely.
out?
Look, we obviously you mentioned James before our website, but obviously our social media page. You can always reach out to us, Faunt Property Group on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah, I think obviously you can always give myself a personal follow as well. But yeah, give us a follow on social media as well, and yeah, you can always reach out to us for a conversation.
Awesome, Trent. Really appreciate your time, energy, and expertise today. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it, James. Thanks, mate.